Hello, soul friends. This is Miriam. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome, first timers, if you've never been here before. We are doing a quick little what does the spirit want you to know? Because for some reason, I was studying there last night, and I've been doing a lot of videos lately. You may have noticed. And one of my great motivators of doing videos is being able to use spooky cards. And I was like, I'm getting kind of tired of the same cards I've been using. Sorry, I just kicked the camera. Anytime you see this, that's me kicking the camera because well, not the camera, but you know what the camera's standing on. I would call it a camera stand, but it's not. It's a microphone stand. We make do, like the Marines. I don't actually know if they say that. They said it in a HBO, what do you call it? Series about Marines, and I don't know if it's accurate. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not. But anyway, how would I know? I'm not a Marine, but I do make do like those Marines in those shows said they were. Okay, that all being said, this is just, I was thinking about these decks that I really like. By Heather Niell. I follow him on Instagram. He's a painter. And I'm using his cards today for this reading. This one didn't come with a graphic on the box. This is the first one I ever got. It's very, very pretty. So in any event, we're going to be using his cards today. I will put a link to his Etsy shop in the description box for you. Remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice, or it's just your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. No matter how you look at that, it's healthy and you're in the right place. Okay. For your choices today, this is just a quick message that Spirit wanted you to hear. And then, of course, I'll probably drag it out to the point of ridiculousness like I like to do. Yeah, we do have some really good topic ideas coming in from my friend Lisa. We are going to be doing all of the suggestions that she has been so gracious to pop on and ask about. Okay, so for each group one, you have the little Grim Reaper. If I sneeze, I apologize. I'm not going to pause every time I sneeze. I was like, I'm not going to pause every time I sneeze. And then the sneeze came and I was like, pause. You don't want to hear that. I'll blow your eardrums out. And group 4 is the tree. Okay. Oof, this is just a message quickly from Spirit to you using a few different decks of cards. We will see you in your individual readings. Bye. Hi, group 1. So if you picked the Grim Reaper for your reading, let's look at your overall message from Spirit. Fire. Oh, my. Look at that beautiful, I love these cards. Like, now you're going to get to hear me go on and on and on about how much I love this guy's work. But anywho, it's just, it's like they popped into my brain and drew all the things that I don't know how to draw myself. All right, so overall with the fire card here, in due time. Some of you, and I'm not an astrologist, if you want an astrology reading that is kick butt, how do you, you're probably not even allowed to say that. I should just start cussing. I should just start just using my free range of expression, I swear. Anyway, if you want to see an astrologer that is awesome, go and check out a lady named Heather Harmony. because she's got it going on when it comes to astrology. I myself do not. Okay. But I remember when I had my discussion with her a while back, my reading, whatever you call it, session, if you will. She was telling me that I was pretty well balanced in my elements, but that I was heavy on fire. I feel like this is a double message for some. Some of you are heavy on fire, and some of you need to oomph the fire up. So, if you do not know what your elements are, or how balanced your elements are, you can probably look up, either get a reading from that nice lady I just mentioned, or you can probably just find a site that you can put in your birth chart information. And that's like, it'll have the little thing for you. And then they'll ask you for your email, and you'll get emails from them for the rest of your life. I know. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not affiliated with any of them, so that's just how I would go about it. But some of you are heavy on your fire element, and some of you are not heavy enough. So, a way to quickly check on yourselves to see, are you more prone to, and I'm not saying that you have to have temper to be heavy on fire, but do you have a tendency to have a temper? Do you have a breaking point, etc.? Okay. Or are you tending to be quiet and not say things when you should speak up? That would be a good way to tell if you're in the fire deficient or fire, too much. Oh man, the longer I don't teach, the more words I forget, and it's fun. Okay, this other card came out for you. Hang on, there's something else about fire. Some of you, there's a thing about some of you need to fireproof your home better. Yikes. So when I think of fireproofing my home, I think of like going around and checking outlets, making sure things aren't overplugged, right? Going along and making sure that, je ne sais quoi. What am I trying to say? Making sure that fire hazards are not, just sitting around in plain sight. That could be like the outlet situation, papers being where they don't need to be. If you have kids, checking in on their little, silly, not finished brains. Their brains aren't developed yet. Whenever you hear me do that, it's because I got up and then I'm like sitting down on my couch, but I'm like sliding my knees under the rolly table. I'm like, ugh. Anyway, I'm not in pain or anything. Actually, it is kind of painful. I'm not going to lie. But making sure that, like, if they're burning candles or incense, that they're not, make them stop burning incense, man. That stuff causes cancer. Same thing with scented candles. Just get rid of them. All the people, they're like, I was going to ask her for an endorsement on my candles. Like, if they're scented, please don't send them here. I am allergic to those things, and I feel like other people are too. And, like, people, they don't realize what it is that they're irritated by. It's those scented candles and, essential oils. I don't care how organic. Anyway, someone is telling you to fireproof your home, but they want you to go at it in a much more creative and thorough manner. Specifically, I was thinking about taking the back off my dryer. There's YouTube channels that show you how to do these things. And cleaning that part out, because apparently you're supposed to do that every 6 months, and I've never done that in my whole life. But one day I had a plastic cap rolled down into the dryer lint trap, and I was like, no, what do I do? So I got onto YouTube, and they showed a woman who looked as feeble as me taking the back off of her dryer and cleaning it. And my goodness, I did it, and it was easy to do. I felt like like I should get a little tool belt. I felt pretty handy when I was done. But anyway, if you're thinking, sorry, I knew that was going to make noise. I had YouTube playing on my TV. there's lint all over in there. So like that kind of thing. Like go around and check like the dust in your like baseboard heaters if you have baseboards. If you use propane gas like heating that you actually have access to all the stuff, then find out what the safety measures are for that kind of thoroughness. Not to freak you out. And then once you have your home all fireproofed as much as you can, right? Safety proofed, then you're going to get yourself a cute little broom. It does not matter how big or how little it is. And you're going to place that over your front door. That's a little tip from Scott Cunningham's book, The Magical Household. I highly recommend it. Again, I'm not getting endorsed by any of these guys. I just like to give you tips. But anyhow, put that over the top of your door and that will protect your house magically against fire. Okay, don't just do that and think everything's fine though. Check your smoke detectors. My goodness. Make sure everybody's, I have my earbuds in. I'm very self-conscious about taking drinks of my tea because I'm having allergies. So my throat and my nose and everything is all swollen. I'm worried it's going to make noises. Anyway, so yeah, just take care of yourself if you're in that camp. Other things with this fire. It's like a very strange card to get for like overall energy. I'm not going to lie. Fire is also associated with the months of summer. It's easy for me to remember because we get fires the entire time. It's great. And people are like, oh my gosh, is it because people like go camping and they leave their fires in it? Like, no. It's because, like, way up in the mountains where there's no people at all. Like, you can't even get there. Big, huge mountains. Lightning strikes the mountains after it gets dry. And there's nothing you can do in the high desert. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, there will be a quiz at the end of this video. Something about summer could be big for some of you. There's so much energy in this one little card. I'm trying to get everyone. Some of you might just be a fire sign, whatever those are, Aries and something else and something else. See, I told you I don't know astrology. I always think it's weird that Scorpio, my sign, is a water sign. I'm like, that maketh no sense. Okay. Let's get a couple more of these oracle cards. Anything else on fire spirit? I told you this is going to be a weird quick one, but it's not turning out to be so quick. Ooh, guardian. Oh, and betrayal. Goodness gracious. Okay. Your guardians are blocking someone who's trying to betray you. They're not going to get away with doing any harm. But do you see how there's already blood on the blade? I feel like it's going to hurt your feelings. Dang it. Ugh, nothing. I'm just going to say it because I feel like it's coming from somebody's guides. Nothing rubs me the wrong way more than betrayal. And I do agree with that sentiment. I just probably wouldn't say it that way. I hate getting betrayed because not only do you feel duped, right? Like, oh, I wasn't smart enough to keep from to keep somebody from getting me, right? I let my guard down. I trusted the wrong person. It's like when you actually fall for like a scam in email or on phone and everybody's like, well, why'd you fall for it? Like, because people spend all day long figuring out how to get good at duping people when they're distracted. That's how, Charlotte. Gosh, I'm sorry. That kind of feeling. it's like you got duped, but then you also have to deal with the fact that somebody that maybe you thought was cool didn't end up being cool, right? Nothing worse than betrayal. Abandonment's pretty bad too. Usually abandonment and betrayal with me go hand in hand like little friends. But your guides are protecting you against this person. You could do some fire magic if you are experienced and know how to do fire magic. Don't just like go, oh, Miriam said fire magic, so I'm gonna wing it on the night and just go for it. Please don't. Like, actually do some research. And then, if you ever want to like set up a reading with me, I can teach you how to do fire magic of some kind, or at least teach you the right ways to go about researching that. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, just for some of you, there might be a betrayer in your life who is a fire sign. Your guardians are telling me about this. Also, for this group, whatever kind of crocodile that is, I don't know the difference between alligators and crocodiles, okay? I can't tell just by looking at one what it is. I'm sorry. My ignorance is showing. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Everyone's gonna know I don't know the difference. I don't know the difference. I didn't grow up around them. We don't have a lot of crocodiles out in the pine trees. We don't get a lot of those out in the high desert. I'm just saying. Crocodiles. I don't know the difference between the two, so we just blend them together. We could call them Aladiles. That would really confuse people, though. I feel like crocodiles, like, people are going to understand what I'm trying to say there. Okay. One of these days, when I get more tech savvy, I'm going to start putting, like, little things across the screen, like little graphic text that says, like, crocodiles, and we can all laugh. Okay, so anyway, moving along. Betrayal, fire. Whatever that kind of crocodile that is, that's a spirit animal to you guys, just so you know. The betrayer in your life could be somebody who, I feel like it's somebody you like, and that's the part that sucks. I feel like it's somebody that you like. And maybe the warning about fire being very prominent in your chart is like, hey, I have very prominent fire in mine. Like, that's where the imbalance lies in my, according to Heather Niell, the astrologer I went to. She's really good. If everything she said about me was true, I was like, whoa. So anyway, I'm like, how do you do that with just my birthday? And she didn't even have the time of my birth at night, right? She didn't have my birth time because I have no idea what time it was when I was born. Anyway, I feel like it's somebody that you like. I feel like it's somebody you respect. I feel like they're smart. And your guides want you to know that you have protection from them because they've got your back. They're on it. I feel like the fire warning is because those of you who are heavy in fire, like me, and I brought up me because I tend to get like, I will have revenge. To heck with that person. Oh, I don't say heck. I say all kinds of other colorful, wonderful things. And then I've been told I shouldn't do that because it might, actually like put something out there that could harm, right? And I'm like,
Pre-season?
Jeez Louise. And I'm like, good, right? But no, we're not supposed to do that, right? So I've been told, all right. And I actually have never tried to harm anyone with like magic. I've always been able to hold back from doing that, just like I can usually hold back from punching people in the face, okay? So you can feel that fire, can't you? Pow. Yes. Okay. Let's get you some tarot from one of these. Wait, not that many. But that one on top is calling my name. Well, your name. And so are these 3. Okay. The rest of these, we're going to shuffle them back in. See? Just like I promised I would. It was quite violent. I felt that fire. If you're fire deficient, your guardians are saying they have your back. You don't have to retaliate. And I feel like you're like, good, I don't want to. Right? Okay, we have King of Candles, which would be the Wands, I believe. What were we just talking about with fire magic? Right? Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting there, group 1. 2 of... Oh, wait. 2 of Bones. Swords? I'm going to have to double check. The High Priestess. And the Queen of Cloaks. Yeah, I've got to look these suits up. It's been a while since I actually used this deck. Okay, I was half right. The candles are wands. Bones are pentacles. Cloaks are swords. And... oh, goblets are cups. That's easy. Okay, so that all being said, we shall move right along here now. Okay. So, I'm trying to move all this stuff around. Okay. Okay, this is what your guides are saying to me right now. They're showing me that for some of you, the betrayal that you felt from this person was somebody that had convinced you that they had King of Wands energy, which would be like passionate, giving, understanding. It doesn't have to be romantic, even though I said passionate. Grow up. Just kidding. But it can be romantic, and I am getting that vibe. Gross. But I'm feeling like when it comes to falling in love, King of Wands would be like the ideal person, right? I feel like maybe they double timed you a bit. So there might have been infidelity. There might have been like they already were committed to somebody and then oops, I just forgot to tell you. That's so that's so funny. Okay. You know, that kind of thing. It also feels like they could have just double timed you in another way. Like we're saying one thing and then doing another. Right? Juggling 2 things at once in some way. Possibly behind your back, right? Or refusing to make a change. I feel like whether or not they're keeping it behind your back or not, intuitively, now that everything's come to light for you, I feel like you kind of knew. Or like now, like hindsight's 20/20 and you're like, I should have known, right? Been there. Okay. We also have the Queen of Swords, which is all about, and this is why I was like, I need to look at these cards and make sure. I thought this was Queen of Swords. There's a lot of keys in the Swords cards, I think. Okay. In this deck. But see how she's standing on her own? And it's almost like the cross under her has totally flipped. I guess it could just be right side up and she's standing on it like in a cemetery, but to me it almost looked like a cross that's upside down and she's like standing on it and making her own stand. So the Queen of Swords, regardless of how you interpret this image, I'm sure you've thought of better ideas than I just came up with. It's about speaking your truth, even if you speak it by yourself. And so I feel like a lot of you are like, okay, that person betrayed me, so be it. I'd rather know the truth, is what I'm feeling there. Okay. And intuitively, you know that deep down, whenever somebody betrays you, is like, well, at least I know now, because if they are a betrayer, I don't want to know about it, right? Okay. Let's look at some. Hang on, I'm just trying to make sure that I got this all figured out. I think we're good to move on. Some more oracle. There's a review of all these cards, I believe, in my review playlists. Summer, interesting. Patience. Bumping tables. The maestro. Maestro. Interesting. Okay. I feel like with these cards, that what it goes along with is, you know, I feel like for some, or for all of us, you know, whenever we find out that somebody betrayed us, we kind of sit there and go, and you go through that whole gambit of like, at least I do, of like grief, of like clients. So your guides are showing me with these cards like this almost resilient, not almost resilient, very resilient energy about you. It's like once something, and I can relate to this, like once something's done, you're like moving on, right? It is what it is. You might say that a lot, okay? Or you might say that to yourself a lot, like this is the reality of the situation and I need to move forward. One of the things that I say to myself a lot, because I emotionally get really, really like wrapped up in things. You can't just lay down and throw a hissy fit like a little kid, so you're going to have to do something else, you know? Like, and it's not like I'm scolding myself. I'm just, that's literally what I feel like doing when things don't work out. I'm like, no, you know? And so I feel like this resiliency from you, where you take that, that fire passion, right? Or that destructive passion part of fire, and you turn it into like that summery fire element. Okay. The softer side of that, right? By doing patience and being the orchestrator of your own abundance in your own life. Very nice. Let's get some more tarot for you. Just because I like these cards. I like these two first. Four of Cups. Three of Swords. And the Chariot. And the Four of Swords. And the Moon. And then I feel this one for our final little spiel there. Okay. With the Four of Cups, your guides are saying don't, and the Three of Swords, don't let your heartache over this betrayal blind you to other chances and new people, etc. and so forth, right? I know that when I get betrayed, I'm just like, stay away from me, to other people. I'm like, I'm done with all of you, right? They're saying not to do that. So don't do what I do. Excuse me. Okay, we have the Four of Swords and the Moon. They're saying to go ahead and rest and heal from this before you worry about the future. I'm so sorry, I'm so stuffy. Okay. And they're showing with the Chariot that you will have victory over this, that you already in a sense have had victory over this. See, wish fulfillment. It's good stuff, you guys. Wish fulfillment. So the right people will come to you, okay? It's going to be okay. All right. With that, I shall leave you. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. Thank you, Lisa, for the topic ideas. I'm getting to them. We'll see you in the next one, my friends. Take care. Bye. Hi, group 2. So if you picked Zibat, and then let's look at what your spirit guides have to say to you. Ooh, mortality. Don't worry, you're not going to die. I mean, you might, but if you're going to die, we're not going to give you any previews to that here. We don't get any death spoilers on this channel. So whatever this is about, no, I feel like there's something about mortality that your spirit guides want you to know about. Some of you may be dealing with a loss. It doesn't have to be a loss of life. It could be like the loss of some very big thing in your life, like jobs, friendships, etc. What other situations do we feel here? I feel like some of you might have a fear of mortality. So if that's the case, I feel for people that feel that, because it's hard to shake. I don't know how to make that go. It's like forgiveness. I don't know how to make that happen. I don't know how to make fear of death go away. Oh my, the client's calling. Okay, where was I? That some of you may have experienced a loss. I said some of you might just have fear of death. My pops was like that. My dad was like that. Like some people just stay afraid of heights forever, like, there's always a little bit of that fear of death. And like that kind of transferred to me a little bit, it's a little bit different for me now because I've remembered so many past lives at this point in my life that I'm like, clearly we don't disappear, not that that was what he was afraid of. I think he was probably afraid of a lot of other things. It was a complicated situation for him. But anyway, I digress. Other things about mortality. I feel like some of you might just be upset with change in general, or things ending in particular. Not maybe just change, but things ending you might have a hard time with. All right, let's see what else your guides want you to know about. There's something and something else. The reflection. Ew. And mask. Oh. So for some of you, I feel like if you're dealing with a loss, you might be putting on a mask, okay, of like, I'm okay, everything's fine, I'm making it through this, I'm gonna be all right, etc. and so forth. But really inside you're like, everybody you care about's gonna die, kind of feeling. Not to make light of your situation. I talk like that even when I'm experiencing a human loss in my life. So that's just my coping mechanism that I use. I feel like you need to take that mask off if that's what you're doing. Okay, even I get it. I am not saying you better just take off that mask, friend, and just show everybody those raw feelings. If you don't want to cry in front of anyone, I get it. Like, I totally understand. What I'm suggesting is maybe doing some kind of grief work, like talking to somebody, doing timed crying. Have we talked about that? If you're new, timed crying is when you set a timer and you make yourself cry about the person that you've lost. or whatever the situation is that makes you cry. And that stops you from like having breakthrough crying where you just start crying because somebody said something to you and you're like, ah, and it triggers you and you just start bawling in front of like your boss or whatever. It helps with that. For those of you, and I think that that's like your reflection, is like to take off that mask and just reflect on the fact that you're sad and you have every right to be if you've experienced a loss, okay? I get that there's places and people that you cannot take that mask off in front of. I understand. I've been there, okay? But your guides are showing that you need to find a place where it is safe to take it down from time to time, okay? So that you can work through it. For those of you who are scared of death in general, that might also be something you hide from the world. Again, makes sense. We can't go around like tell people like I'm terrified of dying while we're like standing around the water machine, right? The water machine, good grief. Yes. But your guides are also saying that you need to find a place that's safe to take off that mask. I also feel like for some of you that are upset about change or endings, that you're reflecting on the fact that something in your life has come to an end because somebody was wearing a mask. You might want to watch, if you were drawn to group 1, go ahead and take that as confirmation because that was about betrayal. Okay, what else? Those of you who are afraid of death in general, we talked about that. Those of you who are just afraid of change or endings, we talked about that. And people actually dealing with a loss, we talked about that. Okay, moving along, we're going to get some tarot. It's the pitfall of working with me. Okay, sorry, I had to turn off my... I just had a call that interrupted us before, and I forgot to go and exit out of that customer's screen so that new calls can come in if they need. Whoops. All right, so let's look at your situations and your guide's advice with these awesome tarot cards. We have the 3 of Bones, which is 3 of Pentacles. Temperance. 8 of Cups. The 9 of Swords. And the Queen of Swords. Interesting. Yeah, you might want to check out group 1. Because I'm feeling some similarities here. Okay. Sorry, I'm in the zone, y'all. Can you feel it? Okay, for those of you who have experienced an actual loss, you have to lean on others and communicate your grief to heal. Okay, that's something that's coming through. I know you're worried about the judgment, but your guides are showing that you need to walk away from that stance. You need to let down that armor. See how the 8 of Cups is not them walking away from the cups. They're like staring at them as they fall. I heard this like guide's voice that was like, you need to get on with it, girl, or something like that. That could be a guide coming through for somebody telling you need to get on with your life. I don't talk like that because I feel like people would get mad at me if I talk like that. So get mad at me. Okay, anyway. It's your guide. The 9 of Swords also shows this person being worried about, like, it looks like judgment as opposed to being worried about other types of deals. I feel like if you let down your boundaries or let down your armor, there we go, that you're actually going to see that there's people that want to help you through this grief process. So this is about an actual loss. Speak your truth like the Queen of Swords does, even if you're alone, right? You might be the only one grieving at this time, okay? Okay. So that's the message for y'all. Next, we have the people who are just scared of death. And again, that message is the same. You need to talk to somebody about it. You need to walk away from fixating on it, right, to heal. Okay, and you might need to bring in extra help to help you. One of the things that's kind of interesting about all the different ways that you can help yourself, my dad was a hypochondriac. Everything that he had, he was like, this is gonna kill me. Remember, he was scared of death, right? But he was so good at calming me down when I would start picking up those hypochondria traits. If I was like, oh, I feel this, I think this is happening, Dad, he'd be like, no, it's not. If that was happening, this would be happening, because he was also a nurse. So like he could talk me down, but he couldn't talk himself down. Does that make sense? I feel like you cognitively can calm others down, but like when it comes to your own fear of whatever this ending is that you're afraid of, okay, and it might not be physical death, it could be a fear of other types of change or endings, right? But it feels like your guides are saying you need to let go of fixating on the worry of losing it by speaking it out loud. So like when I would speak my fears out loud to my dad, even though he couldn't do it for himself, he was totally good at like diffusing my situation. So as an adult, even though he's not around, I try to go around and find somebody that, you know, the least sympathetic person I know, and be like, I feel like I'm getting cancer. And they're like, psh, you idiot. I'm like, okay. But, you know, you got to pick and choose them wisely, because when you have actual really bad health problems on top, it can be tricky trusting yourself and trusting others of knowing when you're just like, you know, worrying about something too much because you read something on the internet, or worrying because you legit need to worry because you have a legit issue or concern. I totally get it. I feel like a lot of health anxiety stems from real things that people have. For sure. Okay, moving right along. I want to get some oracle for you. Hello. Divergence. Ooh, entanglement. Ooh. Interesting, yes. Okay. Sorry, I had to get those out before I moved on to the other people. The people who are just upset about change in general. Your guides are showing that if something's changing that you don't like, this is a weird message that's coming in, but I need to say it, that you need to voice if you don't want it to go. Like that might be something at work or something in your life that you're like, I'm not ready to let that go or change at this time. Let them know how you feel. You have every right to voice your opinions, okay? Part of your healing is speaking up when you're not feeling satisfied. And a lot of the people in this group have been getting told over and over again by your guides that you need to talk about it, right? If it's a grief thing, you need to talk about it. If it's a fear thing, you need to talk about it. This person needs to talk about it. Okay, but you do need to talk about it, whatever it is, whether it's like your fear of mortality, your fear of change, your very real grieving that is already taking place. That all needs to be voiced to either people you trust, okay, a professional, something along those lines. Yes, Because I see that even though you need to walk away from that negativity in your life, regardless of what that negativity's form is, you also need to talk about it before you can move on. The Queen of Swords is all about speaking her truth, even if she speaks it by herself, okay? And even if the consequences are not great for her for speaking her mind, she still does it. Okay. Have you guys noticed something? Yeah, it's a whole new day. I had to like push this reading to the next day because everything got so crazy yesterday. Let's look at these 3 cards. So I feel like with some of you with the change aspect, that some of you wish, it's like that hindsight is always 20/20, and you wished you would have seen something differently or known something was going to change sooner so you could have enjoyed it more. That's sort of coming into the picture. I feel that also with the people who are grieving for real and the people who are also afraid of death. It's like this idea of not wanting to be the person that looks back with regret, says, oh, I should have said something more to them, right? Or I should have spent more time with them, or I should have spent more time on this situation. I should have seen things more clearly for how they were, etc. and so forth. And your guides are saying, nah, that's not the case. Okay, you're entangling yourself up and it's dividing you from your true purpose. I almost just said S happens, right? And it's true. Stuff just happens. A good friend of mine, I don't know where she got this quote, but I love it when she says it. She says, okay, life's not out to get you. It's out to get all of us. I love that attitude. It's like, oh, heck, you're right. You know, it is out to get all of us. It's not just me. This world sucks for everyone. And that's kind of one of the things that feels poignant or relevant to this reading, is that it doesn't matter what we foresee and how we try to diverge from it, right? It's like we are tangled up in this web of life, my friends, and none of us get out of it alive. It's always hard for everyone, even if you have millions and millions of dollars. It's hard for them because they don't know who their friends are. If you don't have millions of dollars, well, it's hard for you because you can't get health care, you know, or you can't afford food, that kind of thing. Let's get some more tarot for you. This is supposed to be a short reading. How's it going? Okay, we have, ooh, the sun. Ah, the 9 of Cups. No, 10 of Cups. Even better. Page of Cups. And the Chariot. Ooh, very nice. Okay, so your guides are saying that there are still good times to be had, even if you're grieving. And if you are grieving, there's definitely some messages for you in group 1, I think. But don't quote me on that. It's been 2 days since I started this reading. I'm not even the same person anymore. So the sun turns all the other cards around it into good news, okay? But the cards that have come in are great news anyway. We have the 10 of Cups. That's about finding a home, okay? Finding a partner, finding your purpose, finding your niche where you belong. The Page of Cups is about socializing and celebrating and being around friends, right? And the Chariot's about victory. I love how in this card there's just one horse and it's chilling. Like he already made the victory and now he's just waiting for his routine to kick in, okay? I don't know about y'all, but I am obsessed with having a routine, and that's why I don't think I ever got to have one. Yes, it's a very sad life to be me. Okay, other things, Spirit. I think that's it. Okay, let me know if this is helpful in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you would like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. We will see you in the next one, my friends. Take care. Bye. Hello, group 3. So if you picked the spider in fighting mode, spider's a fighter. The spider's a fighter. It's a survivor. Okay. That's a song by In This Moment. Just saw them live about a month or so ago. Man, they're amazing. If you ever get a chance to see In This Moment live, go do it. It's so theatrical. Okay. If you hear galloping, that's my kitty cat, Lily, who's having a tantrum. Oof, I'm gonna go check on her. Okay. She's fine. She's just having a tantrum. Maybe you're having a tantrum. Do you ever feel like having those? I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like having them sometimes. Okay, let me be more honest with you. I feel like having them all the time. Yes. If you're wondering why my jewelry is all different, it's because this is a different day. I had to wait. I was not going to film at night. And I wasn't ready to move this party into the sunroom, I guess. So here we are. Here we are. Okay, let's find out what your guides want to say to you. Freedom. Beautiful card. Okay, so your guides are here to tell you that there's something that you're going to be set free from. Very nice. If it's something that is like... For those of you that are about to be set free from something, I feel like it's a wonderful thing to be set free from. It's something that's been bogging you down, okay? It could be some type of like red tape situation. I don't even understand where that term came from. It's just this term that grown-ups used, and then I became a grown-up, and anytime there's a lot of BS I have to go through, they call it red tape. You know, like we're supposed to know what that means. Because I don't. Let me know how that little phrase got started in the comments section if you know. I'm not going to go Google it. Okay, so some of you are about to get let free from something. Some of you are searching for more freedom. But I feel like those two camps are joined. I feel like regardless of what your situation is, your guides are showing you that freedom is coming. That's refreshing. I want some freedoms. Sure, I have a lot already, maybe, but I don't feel like I do. Okay, maybe you don't feel like you do either. Let's get you some more cards. Let's have Tears. The Child. Ooh. Okay, this could be a freedom that some of you have been waiting for since you were a child. For others, this could be your child is going somewhere that I don't think that's a mistake. I think the artist wanted to put that there. Maybe not. I shouldn't say that to the camera in case I'm wrong. Now that I moved the card, I can't see it anymore. No, there it is. Okay. Anyway, I feel like if your child is leaving, that's what the tears are going to be coming from. I feel like if you've been waiting for this since you were a child, there's been many tears shed over this situation, and needing the freedom from it is a big deal. Like this could be freedom from an oppressive family or family member. This could be freedom from an oppressive career or an oppressive life in some way. Maybe you've been in a living situation since childhood that's finally going to become something different. Okay. Maybe you've lived with your parents and extended family for a long time. That's something that's becoming more and more common in America anyway, is people, I've heard so many people that are like in their late 20s and early 30s saying, I'm moving in with my parents, you know? Or vice versa. I'm moving my parents in with me, you know? And so that's not something that we're used to nowadays as Americans. We always feel like we are supposed to get away from our parents. Sorry, Mom and Dad. We just don't want you in our house. But anyway, I feel like for some of you that there's been many tears leading up to this. If this is something you've been waiting, a freedom of some kind that you've been waiting for since you were a child and you're about to get it, you could reflect on many tears that come. You could still be crying now if it hasn't gotten here yet and you're like, is it actually ever going to happen? Right? get some tarot. The Five of Pentacles. The Five of Swords. Interesting. 2 5s. The Six of Pentacles. I'm just calling them what they would traditionally be in traditional tarot, because otherwise I will get confused. And the Knight of Wands. That startled me. That's an important card for some. Okay, go calm my system down a little bit. Maybe a little bit. I'm having a hard time today with my breathing. So if I seem agitated, that's why. It's not you, it's me. I can't breathe. It's so fun. Okay, so with the Five of Pentacles, I feel like there was some major abandonment in your family or with that one particular family member if you're in that group. I feel like that child in this card looks a lot like this other child. I feel like this is a representation of you. I feel like you were abandoned in so many ways, that you were like, maybe not abandoned like out in the streets, but that you were abandoned in like an emotional sense, or that you were abandoned in a monetary sense. Like, what's that saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease? So like maybe you had siblings that were more demanding than you, and so they got the attention, or maybe you had a sibling that was very ill or whatnot in any event, or maybe you were just a good scapegoat person in your family line. In any event, hold on. Sorry about that. My computer tabs had all crashed, and so I had to go in and fix them so that people could call if they need to. Not that you had to wait that whole time I was gone. I'm always like, sorry. You're like, what? It was like a blip, and then you tell some stupid story. Yeah. I feel like your guides are saying with the Five of Swords that it's time for you to break away from these, for lack of a better term, disappointing people in your life. Okay? That's part of where your freedom is coming from, is letting that go. Letting go of that need to fit in. Okay? I feel like for some of you, this might be like wanting to fit into society in some way. And I think I said this earlier today in this same, maybe in group 2, I think, that I always wanted a routine and I never got to have one. You know, I wanted the whole Leave It to Beaver kind of life where, you know, the wife is at home cleaning and cooking and keeping the house all regulated, and the husband goes to work and then comes home and everything's very regimented, right? Like dinner's always at the same time. I don't know, like, it's not possible anymore, especially, you know, nowadays. I think pretty much if you're living in a house, everybody has to go to work. Like, probably the kids even have to work now. Like, get out there and make some money. These eggs are killing us, right? So anyway, I feel like you're breaking free in the sense that you're letting go of trying to hold on to something that was never for you in some cases. I have a really hard time letting go of that stuff myself. It's like this idea of it was never for you, so you have to let it go. And then once you finally do let it go, you realize that why it was not for you, that it wasn't good for you maybe even, okay? And I feel like if it's like a family situation, that's a hard thing to admit. And like, it's a hard thing to talk to other people about, right? Is this idea of like, oh yeah, I'm estranged from my family. And they don't understand that, you know? They're either going to expect some crazy, like, you know, dramatic story, or they're going to be like, oh, maybe they don't want to talk about it, right? Or they can't picture it at all because they're so tied into their family or whatever, right? Growing up in small towns where people do stay more close-knit with their families than in bigger towns. And that's not totally true. Like, lots of I've seen very family oriented people in bigger towns, you know what I mean, where they all kind of stay in the same city, and even if they don't, they all fly in no matter what, you know, to do stuff with their family. That does occur, but you just see it more visibly in a small town because there's not as many bodies to distract you, right? And I don't mean bodies, I mean human beings. And so you see these sorry if you just heard my throat while I was swallowing my tea. You'll see like more people involved with their families, and maybe that's something you always wanted, you know, was that really tight-knit family situation. And you just don't have that, right? I feel like some of you, or a lot of you that are moving towards this new idea of freedom, is that you're starting to realize that like that's just not what your character's arc is. Okay, if this was a story of your life and you were the main star, which you are, you're realizing that that's just not your narrative. All right, like I've realized that it's not my narrative to have a normal life. I'm I'm finally starting to come around to that idea, even though I'm like almost 43 years old. I'm finally coming around to that idea that, oh, okay, you're not going to have the leave it to beaver cleaver life, right? The nuclear family is gone, or whatever you want to say about that. Let's get you some more oracle. Interesting. I set those that way weird because I felt that card that ended up on top, and I was like, that's your first card. I felt it as it was flipping. I was like, this is the middle card then, because it came next technically, and then this came last. What's interesting about these is that they're not exactly tarot traditional, and I don't exactly have the guidebook. Yes, we're just gonna wing it and go with my intuition and yours. The Magician is about having the keys that you need to make your own success. I think the Magician showed up in one of the other readings for this group as well. Not this group, but for this video. I feel like your guides are telling you that you're going to make your own freedom. You're going to make your own routine. You're going to make your own traditions. That's something that I have come to enjoy as being like an odd duck that doesn't have a normal life like normal people do, right? And the reason that, you know, people come to feel that they're separate from their fellows is because in every group setting situation throughout your life, maybe since childhood, you feel separate, right? Your guides are showing that you have this different way of being, and that you're going to somehow call that into being in a new, magical, awesome way that only you can do. So, you know, if you have, even down to the littlest things like your workstation at work, okay? If you have like a cubicle situation, right? Or an office situation, make that space your space. Make it unique to you. Is my house cluttered? Oh my gosh, yes, it's cluttered. It's not the neatest home in the world. But when people do get to come in, which isn't very often because I don't let that many people into my life, but those who do get to come in say it's the coziest atmosphere that they just want to stay, right? So it's like that. And it's because we've catered it to our unique style and personality and comfort level, regardless of what others may think. Now, would a very neat freak person be comfortable in my house? Probably not. You know, they'd probably be like, oh my gosh, I kept staring at that cobweb in the corner. And I'd be like, which one? There's lots of them. Okay. So you have that ability to do things and make them your own, and even invent some new ones. And so your guides are saying that's part of the freedom component for you as well, is this cultivating of your own space, cultivating of your own whatever situation that you're in. That's how you will overcome your adversary, which honestly, I feel like in most cases in this group that your main adversary is actually just you. Okay. And I'm not saying you're a self-saboteur, because you've had adversarial things in your life. Some of you, the adversary is what was keeping you trapped in the first place, the thing that you need freedom from. That could be an oppressive family or family member. That could be an oppressive situation or obligation, right? But for some of you, I feel like the adversary is you, like you standing in your own way of not accepting who you are enough to move forward. For those of you that the adversary is an outside place, this cultivating of your own chi. I studied Qigong, but whenever I use the terminology, I feel like such a poser that I can't stand it. I'm like, your chi. Oh my word, I need a drink. Okay, drink in hand. Not really in my hand, but it's here with me now. Let's go ahead and keep going. I feel like this magician element is the key to victory over your adversary and bringing in that freedom that you so crave and need and deserve. For like maybe one of you, there's something about an actual key. You will find it soon. Whatever that means. Let me know what that was in the comment section. Okay. This Queen of Swords has been showing up. Like she is just coming up into the party, man. She's been in every group so far. She's got things to tell us. We have Queen of Swords, 8 of Swords, the High Priestess, Strength. Cool. Okay. So the Queen of Swords is all about speaking your truth. Notice how she's holding a key. We were talking about the key. These are not the same decks. This card is from this one. And the key card was from this one, if you recall. Okay. So I like that she's holding a key. I feel like your guides are once again reiterating you are the one that holds the key to the freedom that you need, okay? Even if it's somebody outside of you that's oppressing you, right? Because I get devil energy from this card. But the major arcana in this deck are not numbered, and I don't, if it doesn't come with a guidebook, I'm not going to go get the guidebook. Like I maybe once or twice we'll look at it online if it's one of those scan the code and get your guidebook kind of situations, just to find out if the suits, are different from traditional tarot. But even when I have a guidebook, I'm very rarely going to read it. Okay. Unless it just has all kinds of information in it about tarot in general that makes me learn in a different way, then I read those puppies. But if it's just like, oh, this is what this card means, I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out for myself. I'm a reader, blah, blah, blah. And I go do that, right? Okay, so anyway, it's interesting that they both had keys, and we were talking about you yourself, your magician qualities are going to be what get you through to the freedom that you crave. And remember how I talked about some of you being your own adversary? This is also brought home with this 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is somebody who's held back, but they're only held back by themselves. And the main thing that's holding them back in that card is their blindfold. If they just took that off, they would be able to get their ties off. They would be able to get around the barriers that have them in place. I noticed in this one that she's maybe. So it's almost like she's praying for somebody to come get her out of there. But it's her that can do it. So it's like that little meme where it's like, and the answer to what is going to free you is, and the person's like, not myself, not myself. And the guide's like, yourself. And they're like, fa. Yeah, that. It feels like that. I feel that from some of you. I don't blame you. Like, I want like things to just be done for me. I want to be rescued. Come rescue me. I don't want to deal with all this learning BS and trying to figure it out myself and free myself. Like, it'd be a lot easier if someone just came in and championed for me. Wouldn't that be nice? The High Priestess shows that you are somebody who knows these things already. Intuitively, you knew this is, a lot of you knew this is what the cards were going to say to you, because this is always on your mind. That popped into my head, which automatically made me think of that old movie with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman called Practical Magic, where they're witches. That's my favorite, like, lighthearted witch movie, okay? You know, Hollywood-esque, happy ending Hollywood movie about witches. My favorite witch movie that's serious is called The Gift. Not the one with the stupid couple who gets that present on their front step and they're all rich and stuff. The Gift with Kate Blanchett, Keanu Reeves, Giovanni Ribisi, and those guys. It was written by Billy Bob Thornton and directed by Sam Raimi, the guy that does the Evil Dead movies. So anyway, go check that out. Sorry if you have no interest in movies, which is probably most of you. Most people don't watch movies anymore. Intuitively, you know how to get out of this, okay? And intuitively, you know you have the strength to do so. You just have to do it. The only way to do it is to do it. And I totally feel for you because I hate doing it too. Okay, that is all I have for you. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you would like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, group 4. So if you picked the tree with the black agate stone, this is going to be for you. We have the Peace card. That's very interesting, and I'm going to tell you why. The agate stone in the black color, like you picked, is very significant in the sense that it totally, if I'm remembering correctly, like many black stones, you know, like, I think this is spinel. Yes, the way it's sparkling, I can tell. It rhymed. Is that you don't just want negativity to be gone from you. You want it to be gone from everywhere. Okay? And with the peace card coming out, it's because that would bring you the most peace. So that's a message just right off the bat. What are some scenarios that I need to tune into here? Peace from what? I feel like peace from dramatic people. That could be coworkers or people in your life that you don't have a choice. You have to be around them for some reason. So it could be like a family situation that you don't feel you can get out of. The world doesn't feel peaceful enough to you. Other things. Okay, you know what area needs your peace, or you know what area needs peace. Let's go ahead and see your other cards. We have the Guardian and the Victim. Interesting. Okay. Oof, spicy pile number 4. So I feel like y'all, in some cases in this group, want to be the guardian over those who you perceive to be victims, okay? And your perceptions could be right. If you're like, they are victims, they're animals that are being killed. Yeah, I get it. So I didn't go through a whole series of them. That's why I said the way you perceive. It's not like it's not a reality. You want to guard those. I feel like some of you want to guard yourself from becoming a victim. You want peace from that feeling. Do some of you not feel safe inside even like your own home? Is it peace in the world that way? Like maybe you live in a dangerous area and then you also are like aware of all the crimes that take place. I'm going to tell y'all right now, like, I would not know half the stuff I know if true crime hadn't become so popular. And I'm not saying, I know, if I hate it so much, I just shouldn't consume it, correct? That is absolutely true. However, there is a wide variety of it for a reason. Lots of people like it for some weird. I even feel weird saying that I like it. You know, people are drawn to it for certain reasons, okay? And I feel like it's sort of like ravens when they all like communicate with each other when they find a dead raven. They call in a whole like forensic team of whoever is in the area. We need to figure out what happened and if we all need to leave, right? And it feels maybe like that's kind of, it's almost like an instinctual thing. And then people who want to make a living, you know, by creating content or by, you know, pandering to a certain audience type have realized like touching people like it, we should make it, right? Give the people what they want. And I'm not saying I want them to stop making it, but I will say that if I hadn't watched so much, I wouldn't be aware of how messed up the world is in a lot of cases. It's messed up, like how prevalent, you know, murder is. We say that in the, see, this is why I need to start doing text across the screen so I can spell out the words that I'm like euphemizing or that I just say funny because I'm trying to be funny. Murder is one of the words that we use because it's like the old Shakespeare way of saying it. Okay. Anyway, it's crazy how prevalent that kind of misfortune is in the world, and that does steal peace of mind, right? And I feel like for some of you, maybe you're just in a category that's like statistically the victimization type thing is like not in your favor. So maybe you're female, you know, that kind of thing, right? And I'll stop there. But like one of those groups that gets targeted more and you're aware of this, okay? It might make you feel like you stand out like this big red moon is standing out in this very blue and grayish and blackish card. For those of you who worry about becoming a victim yourselves, your guides are here to say that they are watching over you, okay? You can change your fate in a lot of respects. Do we all have a destiny? Yes. But can we avoid certain fates by awareness and by relying on our guides? Absolutely. I firmly believe that. And your guides want you to firmly believe that as well because they're saying they have your back. If you're the people who want to be the guardians of the victims, you want to be the bringer of peace to the world. That could be a message from your guides that your guides are saying, go for it, that we need good people in the world to watch over us. Sorry, I was listening. Shoot. Okay, so your guides could be saying if you were like contemplating like becoming some kind of a peace officer of some sort. A peace officer, like we're in the 1800s, you know, like police. Or some kind of person that looks out for the victims, right? And that can come in different forms. It doesn't have to mean like strapping on a gun and going out and doing your thing, right? It can be helping victims in other ways. And it doesn't have to be human victims. It could be animal victims as well. Okay. One thing that seems to be prevalent in my mind right now also is that at some point in our lives, we're all victims and we're all guardians or heroes to the victims. And there is a balance in that I think we all get to have a little taste of in our lives. Let's get you some tarot, shall we? The Devil card. 7 of Pentacles. I'm figuring this deck out. 6 of Cups. That one's easy. And Page of Cups. I feel this for the next, which won't be for a while. Okay. Let's set that. Nope, let's leave it right there where it bothers me so I remember. Interesting. I know it's not totally rainbow colors here, but with the rest of the card, it does make like rainbow colors. So that could be something significant to some of you that has to do with a rainy period coming to an end, literally or figuratively. It could also mean that you have like some new friends coming in that might be colorful people in some way. Because it's what LGBTQ uses in their what do you want to call, like, in that group? It could be something to do with that group. What else about rainbows? There's something different there besides those things I already said. The end of the rainbow, like finding a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow seems to be something prominent that I'm feeling and hearing. Like you will get your peace in some way, or you'll at least find some good friends to help you get closer to it. The Devil is about oppression. It's interesting that you all wanted peace, right? And that it was a peace that people are seeking out in the sense of victimization and having guardians to look out for you, right? It's really interesting energy in the sense that the Devil comes out in your tarot cards, which is about oppression. And it is oppression it can be oppression from another, but at the same time, it can also be oppression that you can step away from easier than you might think. That brings to mind things like domestic violent type crimes, that you might want to be looking into a career or a way of helping that type of like victimization, or that you want freedom from that type of victimization. Perhaps you yourself have been a victim of that type of crime, or currently, I can't say enough good things about the number 988 if any of you are actually dealing with like a major crisis in your life, or down the road. You might remember that I brought this up, right? 988 has people that are trained to deal with pretty much any type of crisis there is. So even if you're calling about another person, okay? But I see the championship of 7 of Pentacles, of this like waiting for they look like they're waiting for the rapture, like, you know what I mean? Like for like God to come back and take them all to the afterlife. This waiting for it ever since you were younger, maybe, okay? For this like longing for peace. I feel like when you get it, and I feel like some of you will, that you're going to feel almost childlike. Somebody from your past could come back and bring back a good nostalgic feeling. Whenever I say a person from your past could come back, or I hear somebody else say that, I go, no, because I put people in my past for a reason. So I always try to differentiate if it's good or bad when I get that in a reading, just in case there's somebody out there that has a similar reaction. It's like when you when you like went by a nickname all through high school or something and somebody says that name instead, you go, why? Because you don't want to talk to anybody from high school. Maybe some of you do. Maybe some of you are like, I'm still good friends with people I went to high school with. That's cool. I get it. I am too. I have one friend from high school I'm friends with still. So we have somebody could be coming back from your past, but it's going to feel nice. It's going to feel nostalgic. It's going to feel like coming full circle. And then you've got this new energy coming in that feels quite nice as well. So like, will you achieve like total peace? I don't feel like the peace that you want in some cases can be achieved completely, like world peace, but there's ways that we can look at things differently and bring more peace to ourselves, as opposed to just waiting for like a Messiah to come and save us, right? Dea ex machina. Did I say that right? I doubt it. Okay. Other things. I feel like some of you are going to help children in some way. Like I feel social work is some sort of a thing that you might do officially or unofficially. That you want to be a savior to these children. And that's going to bring rewards into your life. Anything else? If you feel like you're a victim of some sort, your guides are showing victory over that. It could be like a little bit of a weight, having to go back into your childhood to uproot some memories and heal, right? But then you'll start having new things to celebrate, new ways to move forward. Okay. I think I got it all. I hope I got it all. Let me know in the comment section. Look at that. You got a card already. Manifestation. Very nice. As long as we have that in our back pocket, we have hope. The Death card. Look at... I know they're the same artist, but it's a different deck. And so when I see those little synchronicities, I get excited. Okay. All right. So moving along. Death, manifestation, death, and intellect. Okay. And look how the skeleton's offering that Grim Reaper a cup. Or like toasting to him in some way. I feel like for a lot of you, the peace is a hope for change in some sort of capacity in your life. That things will change for the better, that things will get better, okay? Your guides are showing that you can manifest this in several of the people here by simply walking away from that devil energy, just saying no and walking away, saying that's sayonara, I'm out, skis. Only you probably wouldn't say I'm out, skis, because I'm the only person I know who says that. And I don't know if I've ever even actually said it in a real capacity, like in a real situation, in a real life skis situation. It's like this hope for change, and your guides are saying you can manifest that. How can you manifest it? Manifestation starts with intellect in the sense that you use the power of your mind to bring about change. That you use the power of your mind to bring about the change. That's a very beautiful message. I was just going to look up what an octopus means real quick. I feel like that's a spirit animal for you. Adaptability, creativity, resilience, intelligence, transformation, and intuition. Well, there we have it. I like that. Let's move into these tarot cards real quick. The Knight of Swords. You guys got some extra cards, but we're going to take them. We're going to take them. We have the Fool. The Hanged Man. The Knight of Bones, which would actually be Pentacles. See, stuff like this happens and then I get freaked out. And the Queen of Swords. We're just going to go with my interpretation of what these cards are. I say that's the Knight of Pentacles, even though it's holding a flippin' sword. But then again, the Knight of Cloaks is holding a sword, you know? I probably should just, pay that $1 to get the guide book. Oh, maybe one of these days I'll just remember to do it when I'm actually on Etsy purchasing things, Like, I really don't need to buy anything else off of Etsy. I've got enough cards and jewelry and that to last me the rest of my life. But here I am, still buying that stuff. So with your new tarot cards that we had, this popped up way up at the beginning. And we've got the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is about taking an action. The Knights are always about action, but it's also about a time of change or being ready for change, okay? What's interesting about the Knight of Swords is that, it's a guy riding in on a horse with a sword, much like a guardian or a champion might. Some more confirmation for those of you, and I feel like even though this is Pentacles, that's why there's a sword there, is a special message for the people who are thinking about becoming some kind of guardian or protector for victims in some way. Your guides are showing to have faith that this could just be the beginning for you in that capacity. Those of you that are going into that, I'll get to the others in just a second. The Hanged Man shows you possibly seeing things differently. I love the little heart in the chest there. Like almost looking at things differently to open their heart. And a lot of civil servant, like, even teachers, right? Did any of you ever have that teacher that was like mean? Sort of like, I didn't watch Harry Potter or read the books, but I saw in some of the previews and things over the years that Alan Rickman played one of the teachers at the school, and I guess he was kind of like the tough teacher, but like then there was this other scene that I saw when somebody I knew was watching that. I think my sister was watching it in the background with her kids, where he's always mean seeming, but then like something evil came into the classroom and he like immediately like blocked the children. Like he was like a good teacher still. It kind of reminds me of that. Like maybe you have to open your heart to the victims that you want to help in different ways. Like strapping a sword onto your belt, right? Okay, all right. What else? And the Queen of Swords is about, she picks up this sword and rules because there's no one else to do it but her, right? And I feel like a lot of people that go into that line of work, even if you're not actually literally going to be like going into some kind of line of duty where violence could happen to you, it's still like a sacrifice being made in some respect. Okay. So anyway, sorry, I was turning all of my toggles back on because I had to reboot my computer. So, okay, we got through the civil servant people, the people who feel like victims themselves. Your guides are saying that they have your back once again with that guardian card. The Fool always talks about having protection. The Knight of Swords is about overcoming challenges and taking action, okay? So, like action in the right direction. Your guides are showing that you need to take some action, but they also have like to do it without fear because they have your back. Does that make sense? Woof, took me a second to get that out. You might need to look at things differently as you move forward. The Knight of Pentacles shows that you might need to take your time, okay? And to step into your own, like the Queen of Swords. If you're someone who wanted peace in the world in some way, your guides are showing you stepping into an idea of making your own space safe, making your own, and I don't mean go out and like build a bunker and get like, spend $1,000 on home security. But if you can afford some extra security, go for it if it makes you feel better, okay? Is it a foolproof, safe plan against everything bad? No, but it gives you something to do and can give you a little bit. It can make the difference in certain instances, okay? That can also be said for like protecting things with magic, protecting things through behavior, such as not answering the door to people before you know who's outside, etc. and so forth, right? For those of you who are sad about things happening to other people, you can raise awareness. You can do little things on your own to try to bring that forward to them, right? To try to bring that to them in some way that's going to make their life feel a little safer. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, what else? Did I get everyone? I think that's all I have for you. If this was helpful, let me know in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you would like a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. We'll see you in the next one, my friends. Take care. Bye.